Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Your boy is back again for another Q&A session. Everything went very well yesterday. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday. I thought it went very, very well. So you know what? I thought, let's do part two. Let's do part two in the Northwest Sports Fanatics Q&A. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on the Cash App or the YouTube Super Chat. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. Truly Green's in the building. He said, who dat? Nola, let's show him what we about again. Nathan Dotson in the building. Suppo Rizzle. Truly Green's tired of talking. We just going to let the film do the talking. What to do, my guy? Nola in the building. Eno, Nylon Saints in the building. Kettle Cuber in the building. What to do? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday, and this will be a great opportunity to pick my brain. If you want to go over your favorite player, you want to go over your favorite team, you want to go over any type of question that I can answer for you as we're going into the 2021 season, hang in there with your boy and make sure the comment section is lit, because if you have a question for me, not only am I going to acknowledge you, all right, I'm going to go through every single question. I do that for all the fans. I love and appreciate every single one of y'all, and I'm not going to exclude anybody. We got a lot to talk about, including Tom Brady playing the 2020 fucking season on a torn MCL. Let me say that again. Tom Brady, the GOAT, the legacy, the Patriots coming to Tampa Bay, no offseason, COVID, proving Bill Belichick wrong, and he played it with a torn MCL. Is there anything that TB12 cannot do? I mean, his legacy now, if you go over all the quarterbacks, whether you love Tom Brady, you hate Tom Brady. You love the Buccaneers, you hate the Buccaneers. You love O-Dog, you hate O-Dog. The bottom line is Tom Brady's legacy, it's so far above and beyond anything that I've ever seen. How the fuck do you play with a torn MCL? Obviously there's ACL, MCL, PCL. MCL and PCL are very serious, but ACL, that's the one that you can't walk. Your fucking season is over. So even with that being said, it takes that legacy. It takes that special greatness that Tom Brady has. And I don't know if anyone's ever going to catch him ever. MCL tear, whole season, not a partial MCL tear, but a full MCL tear. Unfucking believable. I knew that there was going to be some stories coming out as we're going into 2021, but that one tops the cake. That's the cherry fucking on top of the sundae. Unfucking believable. We saw Richard Sherman, the Shermanator, getting drunk, drinking 2 bottles, trying to break into his wife's parents' house, saying he's going to kill himself. I don't really know. He's out of jail now, but that might have been the last time you see Richard Sherman in an NFL uniform, and that's big facts. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Tess is in the building. Good evening, fine humans. Nylon Saints in the building, very heavy. Ooh, one of my favorites. I haven't seen him in a while. Carlos Romero in the building. Woo! What to do, my guy? No Clan Jolly. What to do? Hello. He can't get the 7th ring. Hey. 5 rings, 6 rings, 7 rings. Hey, we're trying to go for 8 rings, 9 rings, 10 rings. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable playing with an MCL tear. I mean, that's something that we got to talk about, whether you love them, you hate them. It takes that legacy to a whole nother level. Yeah, there's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, there's Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Discount Double Check himself, Dangerous, Mr. Unlimited. All right, Mr. Russell Wilson. But they're never going to touch Tom Brady, especially with a full MCL tear. And then not telling anybody. Everyone in the building knew, especially BA, Todd Bowles, Byron Leftwich. Unbelievable to be able to get those touchdowns to interception ratio, those big plays that they had from December on, and those big touchdown throws that he had in the playoffs against Washington, against the Saints, against the Packers, and then finally ending it off against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just unbelievable that what he is able to do in that TB12 regimen. Fucking crazy, man. I just can't believe it. I got my Devin White jersey on. I am fucking ready for the 2021 season. And again, this is your opportunity. If you didn't come in to the room yesterday. It was litty. Lots of fire donations, lots of awesome questions. And I'm going to be able to pull out all the stops because I love and appreciate every single one of y'all. Let me acknowledge everybody in the building. Truly Green's in the building. What to do? Nathan Dotson in the building. What to do? Kettle Cuber in the building. What to do? Tess in the building. One of the mods. What to do? Carlos Romero in the building. No Clan Jolly in the building. Bobby the Space Ghost in the building. He said, that's fucking wacky. That's more than fucking wacky. It's fucking greatness. Brandon Simmons in the building. He said, do you got Cam or do you have Mac? Well, Cam Newton's going to start because he's the veteran guy. I'm not sure if I really like either one of them for New England. I mean, I honestly feel if you can get a guy like Marcus Mariota in the building, you could probably have a little bit more success. He needs a change of scenery. And if he can end up going to a place like that, that would be best suited for him. But I think you're going to start with Cam Newton. He is going to be limited, but there's a lot of weapons there now with Hunter Henry from the Chargers, Jonnu Smith from the Titans, Nelson Aguilar from the Raiders, and formerly of the Eagles fly. So it'll be interesting to see, who ends up being the quarterback at some point. Mac Jones, Mac Jones, he will be the starting quarterback. New England should be a pretty good team if they don't have injuries. I'm not really big on Cam Newton. He's getting older. The arm is starting to show some age. The legs are showing age. But like I said, if you have all those weapons surrounding Cam, which he didn't have last year, they can make the playoffs with Cam or Mac Jones. And that's big facts. Bobby, the Space Ghost in the building. What to do? Carlos Romero, I live in LA, a few streets away from SoFi Stadium, and I'm so excited for week 3, Rams versus Bucks. What's your score prediction? See, the thing is with me, Carlos, I feel that, with the Rams, they're going to be very, very solid. It's going to be probably Tampa Bay's biggest threat besides the Niners and a few other teams that are going to be in that division. Seattle, the Cardinals, you're going to have the Packers if Rodgers plays. There's going to be a lot of competitive juices flowing, all right? But again, remember, we went 11-5. It's not like Tampa Bay went undefeated. So if we end up losing that game, I'll be okay. I mean, in all seriousness, I kind of think that we probably would lose that game, going on the road. When you go on the road and Tom Brady's got a fucking MCL, of course, that we lost 5 games, and most of the games that we lost were only by 3. Lost the Bears by 3, Kansas City Chiefs by 3, Rams. There was only a few games that we lost by just a couple points. The only ones that were a little bit more than 3 were obviously the Saints, week 1, and that ass-whooping 38-3 that we remember, obviously, with, week 9, with the New Orleans Saints coming into Tampa and beating the brakes off my Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. So I'm not really sure what the score is. I hope it's high scoring. It'll probably be somewhere in the 20s or low 30s. But more than likely, Tampa will lose unless we execute perfectly. It's going to be very early in the season. And then obviously a bounce back week in week 4 when they actually go to New England and they go to Gillette, and then we're going to get the dub there. I know Tom is going to get the dub, and that's going to be one of the biggest, most anticipated football games on planet fucking Earth when Tom Brady goes back to Gillette in New England. They're going to cheer for him, and it's going to be so exciting. I'm going to have goosebumps. That is the must-see TV game of the year in 2021. Regardless, if you love Brady or you hate the Patriots, you love the Patriots, you love Brady, you hate Brady, that is going to be probably the highest-rated game all season, besides maybe probably Super Bowl. Ryan Strick in the building, Chiefs Kingdom in the building. What to do? Michael Pierpont in the building. What to do? Truly Greens. 4 teams looking for payback. The football team, Saints, Chiefs, and the Packers. Yeah, they can look for payback, but let's be honest. Who's going to be better than Tampa Bay? Returning all 22 starters, having all 3 coaches, even returning the kicker. We're not trying to go and get second place, third place. We're trying to go for 2. And if you really think about it, it's very hard to go for 2. The last team to do it was the Patriots in 03 or 04. But if anyone is lined up to be able to go for 2, it's Tom Brady and my Buccaneers. I don't give a fuck what you think or what you want to, have your opinion. Everybody knows right now Tampa is the team to beat, not just because we won the Super Bowl, but how good we are with the depth, how good we are with returning everyone that we had on contract, returning all the starters, all the bench guys. I mean, this is very exciting, for obviously Tampa Bay and people like me that have been hardcore fans, since 1995 or prior. This is something that I've dreamed about. The window is small. As long as Brady's there, we're going to be definitely Super Bowl contenders. Once he leaves, we should still be hopefully playoff contenders, but there's going to be a drop-off. But obviously, you got Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kansas City Chiefs, and everyone else. Yes, there's going to be the Rams. Yes, there's going to be the Niners, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Browns, the Bills. There's a lot of other teams, the Titans, the Colts. But when it really comes down to it, it's Tampa Bay, the Chiefs, and everyone else. And that's big facts. Jameson Mesa in the building. Tighten up. What to do? No Clan Jolly's in the building. Which defensive rookie are you looking forward to the most? Easy. J.C. Horn. If you remember and you watch my NFL draft, pretty much extravaganza, there's nobody in media that picked 13 of the first 15 picks, and I probably would have got 14 out of the first 15 if Penei Sewell would have went to the proper team, the Bengals, instead of them going for, obviously the wide receiver, big dog that they wanted to pair up with Joe Burrow. All right, but I'm really looking for J.C. Horn because he's got that dog mentality. He's got the swag. He's got the drip. He might be the next Jalen Ramsey. I'm really thinking that he is going to be that type of guy. It might take him a couple years to be able to get to that point, but I'm very excited to see where he goes. And obviously, we know there's a linebacker in Dallas that should be very, very good as well. But I got to say, J.C. Horn from the Carolina Panthers, he should be the new big thing going forward into 2021. Oh, my boy, big dog from work. What it do? What it do? What it do? JP. What it do? What up, big dog? How are you, man? So your boy's grinding. I'm always going through and having the passion, the energy, the fire. Ryan Trick, Chiefs Kingdom, baby, in the building. Blake Midget in the building. Can you see Sam Darnold leading the Panthers to the playoffs? And the simple answer is no. All right, not this season. All right, I think they're going to be a good football team. Run CMC's got to stay healthy. You got lots of good weapons there. You got Robbie Anderson there. You got the deep threats there. You got the short guys. You got a lot there. DJ Moore's very underrated. You lost Curtis Samuel. You got J.C. Horn. You got Jeremy Chin. He's a baller. He's a baller. He can't stop the guy. All right, and then on top of that, you got guys like Bryden Spider Burns, who's going to be very amazing in his next year of development. But the main thing is you got to be able to compete with Atlanta. You got to be able to compete with the Saints, all right? So you're going to try to go for number 2 in the NFC South. So is it a chance where you guys can actually make the playoffs? Of course, but I just don't think it's going to be in 2021. And that's not me shitting on you and saying that the team's going to be bad. I think there's going to be a good chance that you guys can actually beat the Saints and be better than the Falcons as well. You and the Saints are going to be neck and neck somewhere between, I would say, the 8, 9, 10 win range, unless there's injuries. If Run CMC is out, then you're probably going to be 8 wins or less. So you really need to have him play for a full season. Same thing goes for the Saints. You could be 9-8, you could be 8-9, and you might be a little bit worse depending on the development of Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, or some of those other QBs. But I just don't think Sam Darnold, it's not all him. And, I think that that's a better option than, obviously Teddy Two Gloves and some of the other guys that they had in the past, Cam Newton and his aging ass arm. Darnold is a guy that is a new upbringing in, obviously hashtag keep pounding in Carolina. So I think that you guys are going to get better and better, but you got to give Darnold a year or 2 to get acclimated with the offense. So if they do make the playoffs, it's possible. But if I had to put money on it, there's only going to be one NFC South team making the playoffs, just like one NFC East team that makes the playoffs. In the NFC North, you're probably going to get the Packers, maybe the Vikings or Bears, depending on if Rodgers is there. And you're probably going to get 3 teams. Count them. 1, 2, 3. All right, the Niners, bang, bang, Niner gang. You're going to get the Rams and the Ramily. And more than likely, you're going to get the Cardinals or the Seahawks with Danger Russell Wilson. So it's going to be very heavy in the NFC West. But obviously, with these other squads that are going to be in the NFC South, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the NFC East, you got Washington, you got the Cowboys, you got obviously a lot of different teams that are going to be jockeying for position, Giants and Eagles as well, but that's my personal opinion. So fire away with the questions. I know there's going to be a lot of them in here, and I'm going to do my best to get to all of them. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on the Cash App or the YouTube Super Chat. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. Let's go, man. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. Who else has their own goddamn chain repping for the YouTube channel? Nobody. Ryan Trick says Chiefs Revenge Tour, baby. And it's all scorched earth. We'll see. You guys were supposed to win it last year. We don't know if it's Travis Kelce, Travis Kels. I don't care what pronunciation you have. We are coming for you guys. And if we can get a repeat performance of the Chiefs and the Bucs in the Super Bowl, I'm very confident that we can beat you guys again. You guys are going to be definitely great, but with the issues that you guys have with Frank Clark, no more Sammy Watkins, you guys have a little bit, not say drama, but there's going to be some holes and there's going to be wiggle room. There's going to be teams gunning for you guys, the Browns, the Bills. And like I said, there is definitely a different tier between those other teams in the AFC. With that being said, the Chiefs are still the best team in the AFC. And the only way that they don't go to the Super Bowl is if Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce or Tyreek the Freak Hill gets hurt. But if Frank Clark doesn't play, you're going to have a lot of questions that have to be answered as we go into 2021. Truly Green, Saints do better when being underestimated. Yes, when you have Drew Brees, but you no longer have Drew Brees. So remember, anyone that you have, Traquan Smith and all these other guys that you really, really love, Truly Greens. Yeah, these guys were good when Drew Brees was fucking throwing them the football. Now you got Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, which is a Swiss Army knife, a guy that can't really be the starting quarterback for your team. He proved that last year. So you can be underestimated, but you're not a Super Bowl contender, and that's big facts. No Clan Jolly, Houston the team to beat, no cap. Yeah, of course. Everyone's going to beat the shit out of the Houston Texans. Worst team in the NFL, hands down. Ryan Trick, I want all the smoke. Come get the fucking smoke from me, my guy. Tampa Bay, Mahomes, best O-line of his career. Let's roll the scorched earth. Another title, another championship is not enough. Remember what happened last season. All right, you got to the Super Bowl and you got fucking waxed. All right, let's not forget that. Tampa Bay fucking waxed the Chiefs. You didn't even get a touchdown pass out of Mahomes. So yes, your offensive line is great, but are they going to be able to stay healthy the whole season? And the question is, no, I don't think they're going to be able to stay healthy all season. We already saw Long get hurt already in preseason. So you better hope Orlando Brown and some of these other guys, Joe Thuney, can stay healthy. But if I had to put money on it between Brown and Thuney, one or both will get hurt at some point in the season. Yeah, you have other guys that can fill in, but you don't have the depth like Tampa Bay, and that's big facts. Calvin Griffin, Horn about to get lit the fuck up. We'll see. We'll see. He's got the swag and he's got the drip, but I'm really excited to see what he can do. And obviously, Calvin Griffin, you're a Saints fan, and obviously you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Roll Tide. So obviously you're going to be talking shit. But I do believe in J.C. Horn, and I hope he is going to be a fantastic player. Adventures with AG. What are your thoughts on Nick Diaz coming back after a 6-year absence? Obviously, with the UFC, I saw the Conor McGregor, ankle fucking broken. Definitely Poirier beat that ass, but obviously, it didn't go full rounds. It was just kind of predetermined fight that ended early. And obviously Conor McGregor, we know he's got the swag and he's got the drip, but, I would take Dustin every single fight. There's one thing to talk shit, but you got to really be able to back it up. So I'm interested to see where it goes. We know Nick Diaz is a bruiser. He's going to come after you. He's going to get the blood. I'm interested to see what he can do. But obviously, not being back in that circle for quite some time might hinder the ability to be able to go for that championship reign. But, any fan of UFC, if you know Nick Diaz, he's always entertaining, always fun to watch, like Conor McGregor and a few of these other guys as well. So we'll have to wait and see on how it goes. Bang! Jamison Meza, my boy. Let's showcase this, baby. Bang! $5. Cannot wait for the Titans training camp to start. Also, the Tennessee Titans are so prime to make a Super Bowl run this year. Absolutely. I think they're one of the top teams that could definitely make an AFC championship game. But right now, the pecking order has to go. Kansas City Chiefs 1, Cleveland Browns 2, Buffalo Bills 3, and then maybe the fourth team might be the Tennessee Titans. So you just got to, kind of not hope for injuries for the other team, but you got to get your defense right. And you might have to wait another year or two to keep beefing up that defense to get to a point where you can actually dominate, compete with the Bills and the Browns and the Chiefs and match up defensive-wise. Because obviously, as we know, your bugaboo and the weakness is the defense. And that is big facts. Big facts. All right, let me keep going and scroll down here. Lots of people in the building. Appreciate all of you guys. Ryan Trick, Horn is a beast, but even he couldn't stop Kyle Pitts. No one could. He is just too dominant. Well, who can stop Kyle Pitts? And we're talking about the future at the tight end position. The next George Kittle, the next Travis Kelce, Travis Kels. All right, however you want to say it, since we pronounced his name wrong for the last 10 years. All right. Not a lot of people are going to be able to match up one-on-one on Kyle Pitts. But for me, being a defensive guy, I'm hoping that the linebacker from Dallas pans out. I'm hoping the corner from Carolina pans out. We want great defensive players. We don't want a bunch of Jeff Okudas running around, which he might be a bust. We don't really know. But I want these guys to dominate. I want some more Jalen Ramseys out there, more Aaron Donalds out there. It's just more exciting when we actually have dominant defensive players, and that's big facts. No Clan Jolly, what a way to ruin my day. Well, it's just my opinion, No Clan Jolly. I got to give it to you real. I can't be fake about it, right? I don't play favorites. I call it right down the middle. And No Clan Jolly, if you are a Panthers fan and you ask anybody in the room that's in there right now, are the Panthers going to make the playoffs? I would probably say 100% or probably 90% of the room is going to say no. And it's not that they're hating on the Panthers. It's just that there's a lot of other teams that are going to be in the NFC that are going to be jockeying for position. Every team in the NFC West could get in. We know that's not possible. You can't have all four, but 3 out of the 4 is possible. Obviously, with the Packers, maybe the Vikings or Bears. That's a couple right there. Tampa Bay, Washington football team. So there's not going to be a lot of wiggle room, from these other divisions, especially if the NFC West puts in 3 different teams. And that's big facts, but you never know. Maybe they'll overachieve. Maybe they will overachieve, and maybe we'll end up getting something that we don't even know is going to happen. And that's big facts. Ryan Trick, Jameis Amazing, not with that defense. I'm sorry. Well, remember, a couple years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs had a kind of a shitty defense, and they almost made the Super Bowl. Obviously, the offense is going to be on par, I believe, with Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Derek King Henry, and well as Ryan Tannehill. So, yes, I know they don't have Jack Conklin, which is going to be a big loss since he went over to Cleveland. But that offense is going to be humming, all right? And even though we know Kansas City's offense is very lit, all right, don't be surprised if the Titans don't have a top 5 offense. They should with that particular lineup. So if you can score more points than the other team, last time I checked, that's going to end up in a lot of W's. And I'm not talking Jameis Winston eating those fucking W's like a goddamn idiot. I'm talking about real W's that's going to lead to wins in the win column going forward into 2021. Message from a Golden Eagle. What up, Ryan, in the NWSF? Devonta Smith, Heisman winner. Heisman. I can't wait to see him play this season, and that is big facts. Jameis Amaza, of course. Caleb Farley, another Tennessee Titans first-round steal. You did with Jeffrey Simmons. There's a lot of nice steals, a lot of underrated players. I'm very excited to be able to see where it goes as we go into 2021. Tess in the building, showing love. Blake Midget in the building. Who are your top 3 teams in each conference? Great question. And like I said, I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. And I do. So obviously Tampa Bay Buccaneers 1, Los Angeles Rams 2. And depending if Rodgers plays for the Packers, right, or not, if he does, then I'll put Packers 3. If he does not, I'm going to go San Francisco 49ers at 3. I really believe in Trey Lance, Trey Area, and the rest of the team being healthy. I think that the NFC West is loaded. The Niners could win the division even over the Rams. Last season, they held the Rams, I believe, to like 16 and 20 points and got 2 W's last season. Yeah, I know Jared Goff and the Goffense is nowhere near Matthew Stafford, but Matthew Stafford has had a lot of opportunities with Megatron, certain pieces that were in line and still couldn't get it done. I am a big Matthew Stafford guy, right? But it's put up or shut up. So if you can't get it done with the Rams, then we got to think at some point, maybe Matthew Stafford's a little underrated. Now, if Matthew Stafford gets him to the NFC Championship game or beyond, then we know Matthew Stafford is the real deal Holyfield. And I think we're leaning a little bit towards that end. But I got to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all right, Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, unless we get Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers there. And on the flip side, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, number 1, number 2, Cleveland Browns, and then I got to go with the Buffalo Bills for now, with a few other teams sniffing like the Tennessee Titans right on their heels. Xavier Williams, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back on the grind. Good to see you, brother. And this is another fan of a team that I'm very excited to see. We are very excited to see the Arizona Cardinals because that's going to be one of the pieces, Mr. Williams. As you know, Kyler needs to take that big step. You got a lot of weapons on the team. You added J.J. Watt. You got to get it done. So I think this might be the year that you guys take the leap and maybe the Seattle Seahawks take a step backwards. And you never know what's going to happen with Kyler in that development. You got James the Terminator Conor from the Pittsburgh Steelers there. And then you got a guy that I like, Chase Edmonds, very underrated. DeAndre Hopkins. You got a lot of weapons there. And you got a guy that could be a comeback player of the year candidate in A.J. Green. Old as hell, when he was healthy, top 5 wide receiver. He hasn't been a top 5 wide receiver pretty much since OBJ hasn't been a top 5 wide receiver. But I did see OBJ is in Oregon, in Eugene, training some of the wide receivers. I love that. So I got to give a little OBJ love, coming out to Eugene, coming out here to Oregon, showing love to some of our Oregon Ducks football players. Excited about that. But the Cardinals are only going to go as far as Kyler Murray can take them. And that's big facts. Excited to see what they can do. Absolutely. Calvin Griffin in the building. He said, keep on with this Winston shit because he didn't work out for your whack-ass squad with them bum-ass coaches. Coaches are better than yours. Winston will be fine under Payton. Won't do shit this year with them bum-ass receivers, though. Hey, we'll see. You're not going to be better in Tampa Bay. You guys had your chance, Calvin. You had your chance. Saints fans had their chance. You had your chance to go to some Super Bowls or go to some NFC championship games, all right? And it didn't work out. All right. You can say that the league is against you. You can say it's cursed. You can say it's rigged. All right. But Jameis Winston is not Tom Brady. And that's big facts. And bottom line, Jameis Winston isn't your long-term quarterback. So regardless if you want to keep defending him or Taysom Hill, neither one of those guys is the long-term answer for the Saints to have long-term success. Facts. They are no Drew Brees. Period. All right. You need someone better than Jameis. You need someone better than Taysom Hill. You need to keep Taysom Hill at the position that he is the best, the Swiss Army knife. Jameis can throw yards. All right. He can get you touchdowns, but he's going to turn over the football a shitload this season. And that's going to be a reason why you guys don't go to the playoffs this year. Facts. Jameis Amazing. The Tennessee Titans defense was horrible last year. I give you that, but they're focused, correct all that season. So stop bringing up last year. It no longer applies. I see you. I see you. Test in the building, shout out, donations. Yes, let's go. And like I said, you know what I mean? I've given the Saints plenty of love. All right. I've given the Saints plenty of love over the years. Let's not get it twisted. When Tampa Bay was a shitty team, I let you know my team was shitty. All right. When the Saints were great, I gave you guys love. Now I'm letting you know the reality of what the football team is going to be. And some of y'all don't want to hear it. So that's fine. All right. But I always speak the truth. I never sugarcoat anything. So you can either love me, you can hate me, but other people on the outside looking in feel the same way. There's going to be a lot of football teams that are going to be better. I can name quite a few. Rams are going to be better. The Cardinals are going to be better, right? Who else? The Niners are going to be better. Packers are going to be better. Tampa Bay is going to be better. And you're probably going to get a team like the Washington football team will probably be better. So there's not going to be a whole lot of wiggle room for you to get into the playoffs. And if you do get in, you're going to be the worst team out of all the teams getting in, and you're going to get bumped in the first round. And that's like best case scenario with everything that's going on. That's not me being a hater. That's just facts. J.C. Horn played really good against Kyle Pitts last year, but Kyle Pitts definitely torched him. If you go back and look at the highlights, Blake, it didn't play out too well for J.C. Horn, but Kyle Pitts knows he's almost unguardable. These are two guys that could be Hall of Fame players as we're going into 2021 and beyond. And if you had to choose one guy that's more than likely going to be a Hall of Fame player, and it's not Kyle Pitts, it's probably going to be Penei Sewell on the offensive side of the ball. And then we got two guys on defense, J.C. Horn, and then that Dallas Cowboy linebacker from Penn State, who should be very, very great as well. Don't know if he'll be able to stay healthy throughout the full season, but we will see as we go into 2021. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Let's see here. Calvin Griffin, Tess. Let's see here. Truly Greens, I would never defend Taysom. Get out of here with that. No one really thinks Taysom is a starting caliber quarterback. I don't know. I think quite a few people actually do. Some people know that Jameis might be the more natural quarterback, but I think Taysom Hill more than likely is going to win you more games because he's not going to turn the football over. You turn the football over, you're not going to win games. But it all really depends moving forward, what the strategy is going to be. You're going to go heavy AK-41. You're going to go heavy, Michael Thomas. But I have a kind of a feeling that Michael Thomas is going to get hurt again. I'm not saying that he's brittle. I'm not saying that he's weak. But if he goes down with an injury, you're fucked. You can't go to AK-41 40 times. You don't have a second wide receiver option, third wide receiver option. You got guys like Harris that's a special team star, right? Defense has a lot of holes as well. Defense should still be pretty good, all right? But this is no team compared to the last 4 years that the Saints have brought in when they had Super Bowl caliber football teams. This is no longer a Super Bowl football caliber team. Every football team, unless you're the New England Patriots, has a 4-year or 5-year run. Once that 4-year or 5-year run ends, you have to slightly rebuild, all right? And you don't have the same type of team. You can't be like, oh, this guy's going to step up. Traquan Smith's going to be great. Drew Brees is no longer throwing the football to him. So yeah, you got Jameis. Yeah, you got Taysom Hill. They should be able to do some good things for the football team in 2021. But I'm not really confident in Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston moving forward. You guys are going to need someone better. And if you end up having a bad season and you win, let's say, 7-8 games, right? And you end up getting a draft pick to come in that's not Ian Book, someone that's better, than Ian Book from Notre Dame. That could actually benefit the team long term. Same thing goes for the Philadelphia Eagles. You have a bad season, you got 3 first-rounders. Maybe you get Deshaun Watson to come into Philly because that's going to be the most natural landing spot for someone like that. But we have to wait for all the legalities to kind of play out before we get into that piece, all right? And that is big facts. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on the Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the Super Chat here on YouTube. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. And again, this is a Northwest Sports Fanatics Q&A. All right. He said, you're butthurt about Winston. All right. Well, I watched him at fucking Florida State. I watched him at Tampa Bay. You can't truly believe in your heart, Calvin Griffin, that Jameis Winston's going to win you a Super Bowl. Get the fuck out of here. You know that's not true. This is not Drew Brees. All right. I essentially had probably about 70% of the same roster. And then you bring Brady in with a torn MCL and I win a Super Bowl. All right. Yeah, we ended up bringing guys like Tristan Wirfs. Huge. All right. We got Antoine Winfield Jr. Huge. Devin White's development. Huge. And I know you're not a big Devin White guy, but I hate to tell you, he's the best linebacker in football, period. So you can be a Saints fan. You can be an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but you can't state the facts that there's some LSU players that are on the same level as Alabama players. And even though Tampa Bay is the rival of the Saints, it's no longer in the Saints division. All right. You can beat me in the regular season, but when it comes down to it, when the games count and when the games are on the line, Tampa Bay got shit done. The Saints choked in 4 years. Yeah, there was some referee issues against the Rams. That was your year. That was the year that you guys should have won. But there's no excuse losing to the Vikings twice. Period. No excuse. You should have been able to beat those teams. I know the Minneapolis Miracle with Stephon Diggs was crazy. Should have never let that happen. That's bad coaching. So as much love as Sean Payton gets, he's not as great of a coach as a lot of Saints fans think. I mean, if you actually think about it, will he be a Hall of Fame coach? More than likely, he's going to be in that category. But there's a lot of bad play calls from Sean Payton, a lot of bad decisions. People don't want to say that about the big guy, all right, because that's Sean Payton. He's one of those guys. But there's a lot of other coaches that I would rather have on my roster than Sean Payton. There's a lot of mistakes that kind of get swept under the rug. All right. You've had plenty of opportunities to get it done, and you guys just couldn't get it done. So, I mean, other fans on other fan bases, they have no pity for the Saints fans moving forward. Obviously you guys have a lot of swag, a lot of confidence, a lot of shit talking. But when it's all said and done, you guys wasted away 4 years when you guys could have had at least 1 or 2 Super Bowls. And Brees ended the career with 1, just like Russell Wilson is going to end with 1, and just like Aaron Rodgers is going to end with 1. The only guy that's going to even get close, more than likely, to Tom Brady is Patrick Mahomes. And that's facts. When you have good coaching, it goes a long ways. Andy Reid is, if we're going to go a tier of coaches, Belichick is better. Andy Reid is better. There's a lot of coaches out there. I would rather have Sean McVay. I would rather have Kyle Shanahan. There's a lot of guys right now in the NFL that I would rather have than Sean Payton. That's not me being a hater. I'm just looking at results. I'm looking at time management, clock management, decision-making. And there's been a lot of questionable things that I've noticed over the last 4 or 5 years. Now, is Sean Payton a good coach? Of course. You guys have gotten the most regular season wins in the last 4 years, right? But then also, what does that tell you about the squad? You got it done in the regular season, but when it came down to getting it done when it really counts in the playoffs, it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. Things happened. You know what I mean? Things happened. I hate to say it, but it's true. And I think a lot of people noticed that. Of course, there was a push off. All right. Of course, you guys got burned by Diggs. All right. But you shouldn't have even got to that point. Your guys' team was so much better than the Vikings both years. You guys already should have blown out both of those teams. It shouldn't have even got to a point where they could have beaten you. You should have, obviously stepped on the gas and never looked back, but you didn't. And then you ended up losing that game. And then obviously with the Rams, in that particular year, we obviously know that was PI. All right. We know that. That was your guys' year. So that's one that I can actually, give you a pass on. That was one that you could have gone to the Super Bowl, but there's no guarantee that you would have won the Super Bowl that year. You would have played the Patriots. You would have went against Tom Brady, right? That was a low-scoring affair, if you remember, right? The Rams couldn't score. They had Brady. They had Gronk. So, yeah, you could have got there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win a championship, and that's big facts. So, like I said, I've always called it how I see it. So, you can talk shit about my opinion, all right? But I've always given the Saints love, whether they deserved it or not, all right? And then now I got to be critical of the team, and a lot of y'all can't handle it, all right? I'm sorry you can't handle it, but the Super Bowl run is over, all right? The Super Bowl run is over. You're no longer there, all right? Until you get that next quarterback, then you can get back into that conversation again. And it's not like my run is going to be for, 5-10 years. I got a couple years that I got to be able to get to a point where I can actually take advantage and get things done. And then with Brady still being there, that's going to give me the best chance to be able to get that done. Amber M, Orion and Chad, I got my driver's license. Congratulations, Amber. Another Saints fan in the building. What to do? Nathan Dotson, it took Andy Reid to get Mahomes to do anything. Andy pissed away a lot of games in his career. Let's be honest, people didn't say he was an elite coach until Mahomes got there. Exactly. How many NFC championship games with the Eagles in a row? 4? You know what I mean? They were beating up on Tampa Bay, but they couldn't get it done. Even with T.O., obviously that should have been the year that they could have got it done, but they couldn't find a way. So Andy Reid, definitely gets a lot of love, but he had to end up getting the best quarterback in the world for him to be able to get over the hump. That is facts, Nathan Dotson. That's kind of like a unfavorable take, but Andy Reid has always been one of the most likable coaches. But it is one of those things. You had to get that superstar quarterback to be able to get there. And also you had Eric Bieniemy, one of the best OCs in the game as well. So they had to improve the defense, Spagnuolo, get a better D coordinator. A lot of things had to come into play. Had the number 1 tight end in Travis Kelsey, however you want to say it, Tyreek the Freak Hill. But Andy Reid, he earned it. All right. But that's the thing with coaching. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't understand how coaching and how important it really, really is to be able to get to the pinnacle and get to the top. Jameis Amazing will say that I do love seeing Levante David getting the well-deserved recognition, and of course him being a former Nebraska Cornhusser and also a member of the Black Shirts. Well, Levante David has always been my favorite player besides Devin White. Very underappreciated, sideline to sideline, never really got the love. Same thing goes for Mike Evans. Really never got the love, but finally, since we got to the Super Bowl and made that run, it's nice that people are finally giving the recognition that, hey, Levante David, Mike Evans, they might be a little bit better than we gave them credit for prior to them getting the Super Bowl ring. Orion and Chad, I got my driver's license. Amber M, congratulations. That's a big thing. I know, you ran over a couple people, hit some curbs. I know that the instructors got scared with you, so you had to take a couple opportunities to get there. But congratulations, Amber M. She's on the road. If you're in Nolens, watch out. She might run you over, running some red lights. But congratulations. I'm glad you got your license. It's a big accomplishment as we're going into 2021 with COVID and everything else. And that's big facts. Ryan Trick says, Nathan, no big red slander will be tolerated. Oh, baby. And he was widely considered the best coach to never win a Super Bowl before Super Bowl 54. But it's like Marv Levy going to 4 Super Bowls, all right, in a row and not winning. Do you ever hear about Marv Levy being one of the best coaches? Let's be honest. Do you ever hear people talking about Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly and Andre Reed and Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith? Fuck no. All right. So let's actually, let's look at all the facts here. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at all the facts. All right. So, you have to bottom line get it done. If Marv Levy would have went 4-0 or even 1-1, obviously his legacy would have been different. But you ran into the Washington football team. You ran into the Giants, obviously in 1990. Then you ran into the Washington football team in 91 with Mark Rippon. And then it was the beginning of the back-to-back with the Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. So it's a shame that the Bills couldn't win, but think about how hard it is to get to a Super Bowl, let alone back-to-back Super Bowls, let alone back-to-back-to-back Super Bowls, let alone back-to-back-to-back-to-back Super Bowls. You're probably never going to see that ever again unless it's probably the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be the only team that probably could go to 4 straight Super Bowls in a row. But they're going to get some dubs out of there, not like Marv Levy getting some of the L's. So again, it's all about perception, but the bottom line is you got to be able to get it done, and that's facts. Let's see here. Ryan Schrick, what do you got to say here? Let's take a quick look. So Nathan Dotson, no one compares him to Belichick. Now Belichick's the GOAT. Andy, a top 2 coach in the NFL, undebatable. He's been top 3 and 5 for a while. But if Andy Reid didn't have Patrick Mahomes, is he really a top 2, top 3 coach? Let's be honest. Is he really a top 2, top 3 coach if he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes? I don't know. I would take quite a few other coaches. You're saying that because that's your coach. All right. Bruce Arians got a ring, but I'm not sure if he's a top 2, top 3 coach or a top 5 coach. I'm happy that I have him, but really Todd Bowles was the reason why I won the Super Bowl. BA is great. Byron Leftwich is great. Todd Bowles is great. The players have to get it done with Tom Brady, but I'm not sure if Andy Reid is really a top 2 or top 3 coach, honestly. Like if he goes to another team like the Bills or the Browns, is he going to be able to lead them to a Super Bowl? I don't think so. He'll be good. He can get you to maybe do an AFC championship game or an NFC championship game he had with McNabb, but it took a Patrick Mahomes for him to get over the top. So he might be getting a little bit more love because he finally got the ring. But if you put him on a team that was, on the cusp of winning, like the Browns or the Bills, would he be able to take that team to a Super Bowl and win with his coaching style and his strategies? It's debatable. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to shit on Andy Reid or Sean Payton because, like I said, I wouldn't even put BA in that category. You know what I mean? There's other coaches that I particularly like, but obviously being a veteran guy that's gotten there year in, year out, we saw what he did in Philly, right? And they probably should have got at least a Super Bowl in that Philadelphia run, and it made him hungry. But if you would have put him in another spot with maybe a Josh Allen or a Baker Mayfield, is he going to be able to lead that team to a Super Bowl? Probably not. So, I guess it just depends on what you consider great as a coach. Phil Jackson is great, but again, he had Kobe, he had Shaq, he had Jordan, he had Pippen. If he ended up having someone else like Brad Daugherty and Mark Price on the Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day, is he going to be able to bring that team to a championship? Probably not. So sometimes it's the players. Sometimes the coach is amazing. Sometimes the coach gets a little bit too much credit. Sometimes the quarterback and the team gets a little bit too much credit. Amber M, it says, it was one pothole, Orion. Oh, baby. Troy Johnson Jr. in the building. What to do? Who in the NFL would excel in the WWE if they got a contract today? Aaron Donald, period. If there's any guy that you would want to go against Roman Reigns, Aaron Donald. He built like a Mack truck, built like a wrestler. You know what I mean? You want to be able to have someone, obviously Mike's skills, if you're wanting to look at Mike's skills in the NFL, you're going to want one of the best shit talkers that's out there. So if you can shit talk in the NFL, like if you had, like a Chad Johnson, like an Ocho Cinco, that would be perfect. But he doesn't really have the body, to be a wrestler. So if you were talking about Mike's skills, Chad Johnson. If you're talking about body, Aaron Donald. But that's where I would go, Troy, just right off the top, if I'm thinking of someone out there. But there's a lot of other guys. George Kittle, he's got a lot of swag and a lot of drip. I know he loves the WWE. I probably would have to throw him in that as well. Let's see here. Let's keep scrolling down. John Velasquez, same can be said about Belichick without Brady. Exactly, right? Because obviously we saw post-Brady, Belichick obviously had a lot of guys out with COVID, right? But was it Brady or was it Belichick? Obviously, we know it's more Brady than Belichick. Belichick, coached with Lawrence Taylor way back in the day, right, in the 80s. He was under Bill Parcells. So obviously, we know as a defensive coordinator and a defensive mind, he's great. But if you really want to go with the legacy, Belichick had to cheat, to be able to get those rings. So you got to think 0-1 against the Rams, they won by 3, right? 0-3 against the Panthers, they won by 3 against Jake Delhomme. 0-4 against who? T.O., Donovan McNabb, they only won by 3. So who's to say that they weren't cheating back then? They won their first 3 Super Bowls with Brady and Belichick only by 3 points each. It's not like they were blowing anybody out. So it's more Brady than Belichick. And obviously with Brady coming over last season, torn MCL, still getting it done, whether Belichick wants to admit it or not. If you don't have a Tom Brady, you're not winning. And I don't see Bill Belichick ever winning another Super Bowl again. Really, I really don't see them in that conversation at all. All right, hold on here. Hello? I'm live streaming right now. Why? What's going on? Okay, yeah, I probably can in a little bit. All right, bye. Live stream during the call. What to do? I'm going to have to go to the store here in a little bit. Your boy is always grinding. But great point, John Velasquez. I mean, like I said, sometimes the coaches get the credit. Sometimes the player is going to get the credit. But like I said, it's all about perception. Marv Levy is one of the best coaches of all time, but he never gets the credit for it because he never won the championship. That's facts. Andy, a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, and y'all talking like he's bad. I'm not talking like he's bad, but the thing is, if he was a great coach, don't you think he should have won in Philly? Brian Dawkins was there. They had a great football squad for many, many years. 4 NFC championship games, just like Marv Levy going to 4 Super Bowls. How the hell do you not win? You went against who? Phil Simms, Jeff Hostetler, Lawrence Taylor. Didn't work out. Mark Bavaro. It just didn't work out. Then you went against Mark Rippon, Gary Clark, right? Art Monk. Didn't work out. Dexter Manley. Then you end up going against Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Leon Lett, Dion. It didn't work out. So, like I said, I'm not saying that he's a bad coach, but I think a lot of times we over-exaggerate how good a coach is or maybe how good a player is, unless it's someone that really puts in the grind and gets results game in and game out. Brood Saint in the building. What to do? Truly Greens. What about Rob Gronkowski, Orion? He was in WWE. That's another one. Obviously, but Gronk is one of those guys, it's more like a playful. He was there with his buddy, Mojo Rawley. I'm not sure if he's really a wrestler. He's a guy that can go out there and do a body slam or a leg drop, but I'm not sure if he's really got the mic skills. He's more of like a silly guy. You know what I mean? You're going to have someone that has great mic skills to talk shit, as well as be able to put on a performance in the ring. But obviously, as we know, Rob Gronkowski, Truly Green's correct. He was in WWE with his homie, Mojo Rawley. Metcalf versus Seth Rollins. That would be crazy, right? Metcalf is crazy. DK is huge, so you could actually have DK, Roman Reigns, DK, and but I'm not sure if DK is really a talker though. So, because wrestling is a big part about being a talker as well as, being physical in the ring and being able to pull off the moves. And that's big facts. Let's see here. Blake Midget. Do you know what's going on with Richard Sherman? Who knows, man? Obviously, I know that he drank 2 bottles, went to his wife's parents' house, tried to break down the door, said that he was going to end up killing himself, hanging himself, got in a car accident prior to that in a construction area, fucked his car up. So how long has this been going on? He's from Stanford. He's one of the most intelligent football players, not signed by any team. There was rumors of the Saints, the Seahawks, a few teams that might be interested in a veteran corner. We might have seen Richard Sherman play his last game in the NFL. So I don't really know what is going on. Maybe this was just a one-off thing, but I mean, how often is it that someone can drink 2 full fifths, right, and still stand and still be coherent? I don't know, man. I know that if I drank even a half a bottle, I could be okay, but if you're drinking a full bottle and then let alone another one, I don't know, man. It's kind of scary to think, but I know a lot of people have a high alcohol tolerance or a high drug tolerance. I'm praying for Richard Sherman that everything is good, but the worst possible time for you to be in the news, to be drunk and, contemplate suicide, even though you were probably saying that just because you were fucked up and you were drunk and getting in car accidents, finally got released. The judge, based off his good behavior and good community, work that he's done in the past. But I'm very concerned about Richard Sherman. And if I was a team needing a corner, I'm probably not looking at Richard Sherman at this point anymore. That he's getting a little bit older. I believe he's getting into about his 10th year or so, 10th year-ish. I think about 7 years with, what Seattle and about 2 or 3 with the Niners. So, I mean, if you're going on your 10th or 11th year, you're probably sitting in your early 30s. I mean, do you really want a Richard Sherman on your team? He is a personality, very smart. He could bring some veteran leadership, but I imagine there's going to be other people that are going to pass and take a hard pass and move on. And that's big facts. Let me see here and keep going through. Let's see here. Uncle Mo will be calling very, very soon. That is big facts. Let's see here. You saying Bill had to cheat? You're going to act like Brady Punkass was letting the air out of the balls? What do you really think that Brady was the mastermind? All right, Calvin Griffin, you really think that Brady was the mastermind of the cheating? I mean, obviously Brady has proven that he had a torn MCL, didn't have to cheat, and he got it done with a team with no off season with COVID protocols. So, are you really sure that Brady was the one that was actually letting the air out, or was it maybe the game manager or the guy on the guy handling the footballs on the sideline. They have different guys that do different roles on the squad. I'm not saying that Tom Brady is fully innocent, but there's no way that Tom Brady is the ringleader in all the cheating. We know Bill Belichick is guilty, with Spygate and Deflategate and any kind of way with videotaping the other teams. That's not something that Tom needs. You know what I mean? That's Belichick trying to get the edge and got caught over and over and over. Uncle Mo, he will be calling. Someone call 911 for Richard Sherman. That's big facts. Belichick doesn't win Super Bowls without Brady, just like Andy doesn't win without Mahomes. Bill proved that he can get the most of what he got with Matt Castle. No Super Bowl, though, right? So, yeah, you could end up, getting some wins, all right, but there's no Super Bowl with Matt Castle. Playoffs, maybe 11 and 5. But, I mean, it's all we're all judged based on what we do in the postseason, right? It's not if you get AFC, NFC championships. It's about Super Bowls. Right? Or it's Larry O'Brien's. It's about NBA championships. It's about pennants in baseball, right? It's getting the Stanley Cup in the NHL. We're all judged at the end, with the fan bases and what they do, right? In January and obviously in February. And that's big facts. Let's see here. Seth Werner in the building. What to do? Yo, Ryan, who has more yards, Cook or Chubb? I think Chubb, but I'm a Browns fan. So obviously, you got Nick Chubb and you got Kareem Hunt, the best duo in the NFL. Dalvin Cook, and you got Madison over there, obviously with the Vikings as well. So, and you got Justin Jefferson and you got Thielen. And then obviously with Baker, you're going to be throwing the ball to OBJ, hopefully healthy, and Jarvis Landry. It'll be tough. I think both guys will be in the top 5 at the end of the year. Both guys are top 5 running backs in the league, in my opinion. You got Run CMC and AK-41, Alvin Kamara, Saquon. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be shuffling in there, but that's tough. That's tough. Probably Cook will probably have more yards when it's said and done because Cook is going to get a gang of the carries right over Madison. Madison's only going to get the carries if Cook gets hurt, right? Chubb is going to have to give up some of the looks to Kareem Hunt because Kareem Hunt's a top 10 running back in the league, and they like to be able to mix it up with that strong 1-2 punch. You guys have kind of confirmed that you can go with both guys. You're not going to be able to get 20 carries out of Chubb and then like 18 out of Kareem Hunt. So you're probably going to have to get somewhere between 10 and 15 for Chubb, 10 and 15 for Kareem Hunt. But Cook will probably end up getting 16 carries or more, 16 to like 22 a game. So when it's all said and done, I mean, depending on injuries and whatnot, even though Chubb has got more, burst for that big playability, I would take Chubb in that category. But Cook probably will end up scoring just as many touchdowns as Chubb, if not more, and he'll probably have a little bit more yards. But the difference is that the Browns could end up making the AFC Championship game. The Vikings probably won't even make the playoffs. And if they do, they might only make it because Aaron Rodgers isn't playing or he's in a different division. And that's big facts. Let's see here. Troy Johnson Jr. Everyone has a team that they really like to surprise the world this year. Who is your team? I like the Cardinals this year. I think they have had a solid offseason. The teams that I really like are kind of teams that I, had some ideas last year. I thought last year if Saquon didn't get hurt, the Giants could have made the playoffs. But right now I like the Giants and the Niners. I think those are the teams that are going to make a big jump from last year, going obviously into this year. And obviously in the AFC side, I got to go to the Chargers. The Chargers are the team to me because with Miami, I'm not really sold on Tua just yet, but I really like what development that they've done, obviously with Slater in the draft pick. You got Justin Herbert. Everything is kind of falling into place, but I think the Chargers are going to take a big step in the AFC, and I like the Giants. More so, I like the Niners because I think, like I said, the Chargers and the Niners are two teams that could go as far as the AFC NFC championship game in the next couple years. If it doesn't happen this year, don't be surprised if it ends up happening sooner than later. But I would say those are my three teams that I really like taking a big jump. And there may be a few others. Cardinals as well could be a team, but they're going to be battling it out with Seattle probably for that last spot because you got the Niners and you got the Rams. I got those two teams in the playoffs. So it's going to depend on if the Cardinals can end up winning late or if Danger Russ is going to end up being a little bit more consistent and reliable. Because at the end of the year, Kyler started, he kind of stunk it up. They got J.J. Watt, hopefully a healthy Chandler Jones. Buda Baker is solid, right? But it all depends on Kyler Murray. They're going to ride or die, sink or swim with Kyler Murray. But those are the ones. That's a good one. I definitely would agree with that as well. If I had to choose another team, that would probably be my fourth team right there. Giants, Cardinals, right? Niners, as well as the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Let's see here. Nola in the building. He said, you ready for week one, bro? Nola, Green Bay. Yeah, you better hope that Aaron Rodgers isn't there. It's going to be exciting. I probably got to get the NFL Sunday ticket so that way I can end up doing a little bit more, coverage than just what's on Sunday night, Monday night, as well as Thursday night. All right, let's see here. A hot take from Ryan Trigg. By y'all logic right now, McVay is a terrible coach, and he ain't shit because he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Where my logic says he's one of the better coaches in the NFL because his mind and coaching. I've already told you he's my favorite coach in the league, not named Kyle Shanahan. Those are the two best coaches that are young and football minds in the league right now. All right? If you're Sean McVay, right, or if you're Kyle Shanahan, look at who you fucking played. You went against Belichick and you went against Brady. It's an L, all right? Kyle Shanahan was on Atlanta. Went against Brady, an L. Then you ended up going against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. That's an L, all right? There's nothing wrong with losing against Belichick, Brady, or Mahomes or Andy Reid. But in my personal opinion, going through all the different players and all the coaches in the league, those are my two favorite, but I go a little bit deeper. We obviously are both, we got the credit, with Andy Reid getting the ring for your team and BA getting the ring for mine, all right? But I don't think that the Rams are not going to get a ring with McVay. McVay is going to get a ring at some point, and don't be surprised if Kyle Shanahan gets one either. If I had to put money on it between those two coaches in the next 10 years, if they stay on the Rams and the Niners and don't get fired, I wouldn't be shocked if either one doesn't have at least one ring. They're that talented, and that's big facts. So everyone's got their opinions, you know what I mean? Everyone's got their opinions on what they think is going to happen, but that's my personal opinion moving forward. Message from a Golden Eagle in the building. What to do? Nola says the Dome will be rocking. We'll see. We will see. It's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun to see what happens. Like I said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy in Cash App or the YouTube Super Chat. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. And like I said, these nice, Q&A sessions, like I said, everyone's going to have their personal opinion about it. You might not like what I have to say, but if you go back and look, I haven't got a Super Bowl winner wrong in 20 years. All right. I can predict with the best of them. All right. Fantasy football, I can do that too. Right. And sometimes it hurts to hear the truth. Like your team is not a Super Bowl contender anymore. You know what I mean? Or you didn't get it done in the big game. All right. But that doesn't mean that I don't think the Saints can get back to being one of the best teams in the NFC. I really think with the core of guys that they have at coach, at running back with AK-41, Michael Thomas, the offensive line with Ramczyk, guys like Cam Jordan, right? Demario Davis, AKA the glue. If you end up getting your stud quarterback, you can be right back in the mix. But until that happens, you're going to be on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm saying that you guys are going to be a, 5-12 team. Let's not get it twisted. The team has got a lot of talent. The team has as much talent right now that they could still get into the playoffs with maybe 10 wins. They could go 10-7 and get in. But for them to get to 10-7, that means that a lot of guys are going to have to overachieve. You're going to have a little bit of luck. And your rookies are going to have to really pan out. And I'm not sure if you can check all those boxes right now. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to be answered. You have to pray a lot of guys get hurt on Tampa, the Panthers, and Atlanta, so you can get more wins in the division. You got to pray that all the rookies pan out, like Payton Turner, as well as having someone like Traquan Smith and some of these other guys step up, because you don't really want Harris out there besides playing special teams. So we already know AK-41 is a top 5 running back as well. Michael Thomas, we'll see if he can stay healthy and get back to being a top 5 wide receiver in the league as well. So we will have to wait and see. But I'm not going to be confident in the Saints roster overall until you guys get that next quarterback. And I'm not sure who it's going to be or how long it's going to take. But once you get that quarterback, then you guys will be right back in the thick of things moving forward. It just depends on when it's going to be. And that's big facts. Let's see here. So Nathan, now you talk about how Andy had a lot of success with those pre-Mahomes Chiefs teams. He was in the playoffs every year. And like I said, you ended up almost getting to the Super Bowl when you had the worst defense in the league, or one of the worst defenses in the league. But then you had to get Spagnuolo and make some changes. Obviously, Frank Clark and, Chris Jones, Honey Badger. I mean, you had some great pieces, Hitchens and a few other kind of role players as well. But it's going to be very interesting to see as we're going into 2021 with no more Sammy Watkins, if Frank Clark is going to jail or not. What are we going to end up getting from the defense and the squad? They're going to be very hungry, and they're going to try to end up getting another Super Bowl under their belt. They are the best team in the AFC, hands down, but I'm very concerned to see where it goes in 2021. Tighten Up 22. He said, unrelated, do you think Conor McGregor returns to the Octagon? Absolutely. I think he's going to return to the Octagon because, right? It's Conor McGregor. He's one of the best shit talkers and promoters, obviously in UFC. So even though that ankle looked horrible, they already knew that it was fucked up going into the fight. So they could have definitely stopped it and not had him fight at all. But it's all about the money. It's all about people ordering the pay-per-view, spending that $50 to $100. One of the best shit talkers ever in UFC. When he talks, you listen. But I definitely think that he will be back. He will be back in the UFC before. McGregor is no longer what he was back then, and he's not going to win fights, right? You know what I mean? Like Dustin Poirier, you could put him in just like Khabib said, Khabibi, he pretty much said if McGregor fights him 100 times, Dustin, he's going to lose every single one. And there might be a little bit, truth to that. McGregor ain't going to win probably any more fights the rest of his career unless it's against some washed up guy. All right. But he's still going to sell tickets. He's still going to be able to bring butts in the seats. And that's big facts. Let's see here. So I'm getting a little bit closer to, obviously if this was me and I didn't have anything else that I needed to do, I would end up, going another hour in the stream. But it sounds like when the girlfriend called, I'm going to have to go to the store and run some errands or whatnot. But I like doing these Q&As because like I said, it gives you guys a chance to, give your opinions, go over some questions you can ask me, and I'll be able to go over my opinions with it. And like I said, not everyone's going to agree. That's the best part of being an NFL fan. Everyone's going to have a take. Everyone's going to love their team to the fullest. Everyone's going to love their players to the fullest. But sometimes there's people that, maybe a little delusional, maybe thinking that their team is better than they are. And I pretty much like to call it how I see it. So some people are going to agree. Some people are not going to agree. But that's why we are the Fanatic family. We like to banter. We like to talk shit. But it's all love. We all love the game of the NFL. And we like to get together and kind of have our hot takes with everything. Hopefully Richard Sherman's okay. And the biggest take of tonight, obviously we know Tom Brady playing with the torn MCL the whole year. So, young Nola, whether you want to compare Drew Brees and Tom Brady, there is no comparison because bottom line, if you have Tom Brady, you are going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl, and playing with a torn MCL the whole year, pretty crazy to think. Regardless if you're a Patriot fan or a Buck fan or a Brady fan or a Brady hater, it's quite amazing to hear what he was able to accomplish, obviously in that COVID protocol year, let alone being injured, let alone being 42, 43 years old. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. I wish I could end up making this stream last another hour or so. Maybe I'll try to be back tomorrow for another one, but I'll be doing a lot of these Q&As. Definitely, I love being able to go over your guys' takes and being able to hear you guys argue about what we think is good, what we think is bad, who's elite, who's not elite. This is the best part of my day. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Appreciate you. And like I said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. And donate to your boy if you can at the Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, the Northwest Sports Fanatics. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. We got Friday coming up. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll try to live stream tomorrow as well. We'll be doing more Q&As, top 5 videos, top 10. Make sure you guys have your questions ready as we're going into these Q&As more and more throughout the week. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Amber, Tess, Shrick, obviously Brute Saint, Truly Greens, Nathan Dotson, all y'all. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your night. And we're getting closer and closer to preseason. I'm going to have that TV in here next week, so it'll be just in time for preseason football games. Can't wait for you guys to be here. Stay safe, and I'll be back very, very soon. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Peace.